Patreon.com, fighting words, love the boys, support the boys with your hard-earned cash, and we are delighted to be rejoined by he's just a wizard, the boy. Nico Leivars is back. How you doing, man?
All right, mate. How you getting on?
Well, I'm thriving. You know that. We were just chatting about like the cuts are non-existent. I'm genuinely
Vanished.
shocked. Yeah, I'm genuinely surprised that I expected at least a mark. You got nothing.
No, you know what? They looked a lot worse, I think, because of the dried blood and everything when I got them done.
Yeah,
You put them strips over the top, and it literally looked like I'd been cut open by a knife on each eye.
yeah.
Because they were really long. So I was walking around for a few days, and like old people would stop in the street and look at me as if I'd been like massacred, and like the horror on the faces. And I find it funny. If anything, I was going in more shops and walking around more just to see people's reactions.
Obviously, obviously.
You won't believe
Plus,
how many people have never seen like a cut or someone with stitches.
I mean, the thing is, it's like when it's the stitches, when it's around the eye, you do look at them and like, what you been up to?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I mean, I went to the corner shop to pick up some milk one night, and I I walked in with my Moncler duffel coat, with my hood up, and my baseball cap on, and my 3 stitches, and they looked at me like, "Well, what on earth? Have you just walked into the shop here?" And
Yeah,
I found
yeah,
it
yeah,
hilarious.
yeah. They're literally just themselves a little bit that they're gonna get. That you're gonna be like, I'm just gonna walk out with this milk.
Yeah,
I know that I'm in a very expensive coat right now, and it's okay, but I'm gonna walk
I
out of
look
this
like a
house.
proper little drug dealer, but all funny as out.
First of all, a couple of fights ago in the post-fight interview, you were so jacked up and so G'd up that you could not contain yourself for censorship. And I just want to salute you, and I respect it. I think it was fight before last. It was
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely epic. I was just sitting there going, I had like church giggles at the swearing.
Well, you know what? The thing is, I hold my hands up. You know, on a lot of the YouTube interviews and everything, they don't mind it.
No,
It's a real you, innit? It's a real emotion. I think sometimes you can be a little bit too PC and a little bit boring.
act. I
Um,
genuinely hate nothing more. Don't worry about that going on with the kids. Listen, I genuinely just dry up when
yeah.
Sky go, I'm sorry for the industrial language
Oh,
at 10
yeah, in
p.m.
the corner.
You know what I mean? 10 p.m. at night. There's chaos going on in the background. That's all good.
Yeah.
10 p.m. at night, and they're complaining about the actual language coming out at a fight card. It's like, come
No,
on. They're
it's
just
like,
had
you know when your trainer's giving you a clip round the ear and he's telling you to get your arse in gear?
there
Yeah.
we are. There you are. Like, oh, this is what it is. This
Like,
is
you're
how
watching
this
someone
works.
get punched on the face, but like, you don't
Yeah.
want to hear the language. It's like, you're in for
It,
the wrong channel here, aren't you?
it does kill me when you've got to make those graphics at the bottom
We are sorry for
every
the
time.
inappropriate
Yeah,
language.
sorry for the language and all of that. So it's a boxing show. You're gonna hear it.
I know. I think
Also,
that
it's
as well.
the whole
Like,
point of Sky and the whole
yeah.
point of on demand and the whole point of net platforms is that you don't have to adhere to the watersheds and the BBCs and like all of that rules.
I think the ironic thing as well is like you hear more swearing from people shouting in the arena. Fucking kill
Fact,
Yeah.
fact,
him! But
absolute
like,
fact.
it's part of the thing. People get boozed up and they swear, and like, I genuinely forgot. I didn't realize it was the one that was going on telly. To be honest, I thought it'd be clicked up on YouTube or Instagram or whatever. And as soon as it left my mouth, I'm thinking, no, that's a proper big
Oh,
video camera in it. Like, ain't a little.
no, that's
Like,
That's
yeah,
not a little tripod.
no.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
thought, oh, well, I'm wrong with it.
That's not one of the pretend medias like us. That's a proper one. That one.
The thing is, though, I could see in Eddie's reaction, he weren't that bothered anyway. Like,
It's
we all
Eddie.
do.
Like, if anything, right, as a up and coming like star in the making, I described you today as a world champion in the future for sure. By the way, I love your
Thank you
style,
very
and,
much.
and
And
it is what it is. He's sitting there and he's just like, number one, it's authentic. Number two, it's very very connectable. Right, I see that, and I'm like, the geezer's just had a fight. He's just won. He's ecstatic,
all of
and
it.
this is it, right? I don't care that you're swearing. We're not in church. We're not in court. You're on telly. You've just had a fist fight. You're allowed to get a little bit frothy.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think excessive swearing ain't nice, especially like when
Yeah,
you got little kids. Like, if you're at the pub and like you got a bunch of lads left in B in every other sentence, but
yeah.
it was the emotion. Like I said, I literally just had a scrap and I was buzzing. And one of them, wasn't it? And as soon as I said it, I thought I'm gonna get pulled up for that. But you didn't say it. But yeah, I try
What do
not to
they
do it.
do when they like when you go backstage? Does someone from Matchroom say, Nico, like,
No, never.
I don't think Eddie cares at all. I mean, Eddie's all about authenticity, isn't he? Like he loves it, and also like I know you're not meant to, but it does better on socials if someone's effing and blinding whatever. You bleep a load of it out, and then you just show it's the raw emotion. It will do better in the long run.
I'll try that next time. I'll make you make a reel for me where I just non-stop swearing, so it's just 20 seconds of.
Yeah, we'll do that.
I love that. Just with like interlude random words. Like just literally just beep, 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 tennis racket, beep, 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 fucking Crocs.
Sounded like R2D2. Just full
yeah, exactly. That's the way to do it. Mate, last fight, tough boy, smashed him, like, destroyed him as far as I was concerned. That's the best you've looked against the best
100%.
opponent that you've been in with. Is this where you look at me dead cold eyes and say, I fight to the level of opposition?
We all do, don't we? Come on, let's be
Brilliant.
honest. Emotionally, mentally, physically, the better person in front of you, you just react better.
Yeah.
Like I've never known anyone go, "Oh yeah, I find it easy against journeyman," but when I'm up against someone, I just turn to poo. Like we all naturally just get better.
Yeah.
And I think it was a hard fight for me, not in terms of opponent, but in just terms of what happened. Because within 3 rounds, I'd gone from wobbling him twice, 3 times, to being cut over both eyes and not being able to see out. Like I was literally having to like drift away on my feet and wipe one eye, wipe the other eye, and try not to make it obvious. Because obviously he was getting spurred on by the fact, I might have a chance here. You can't see. So there's a mental thing of not trying to let it show. The mental thing of I was only 3 rounds up at this point, so I've got 5 rounds left, which is a long time to be blind.
Fact.
And a cut man can only work on one side in the corner.
Yep.
So shout out Jamie Sheldon, he did a mean job. There was only a few times where it hindered my vision, and the rest of the times he did a mean job on that. It was like trying to be calm in the middle of a war zone sort of thing, because everything's cracking off, and the ref. You never like to moan at the ref, but I think I wasn't going to get no favours with the head clashes, because by that point the damage had been done, and I think.
He was a bit busy as well, that ref, as far as I'm concerned. He was just like he was a bit busy. Like you don't speak on the refs. The board are not polite. I can speak on the refs because I'm media busy. Anyway, please.
Shit happens, doesn't it? Pardon me, French. Yep. But I think my opponent knew.
Sam, please apologise for the industrial language.
Yeah, I'll get a graphic up.
Yeah. I want you to do that.
I think, I cut R2D2 on my face every time.
Yeah. I'm working overtime now.
My opponent knew that once the cuts happened, he could get in, get rough, and get on me with a head. And I can't blame him for that. We're in a fight. If that's the way he's got to do it, he's got to do it. I respect to him for that. You've got to do what you got to do. And it was about me more just staying composed. And I'll be honest, halfway through the fight, I'm thinking in my head, right, I should get through this. I'm 24 and I'm fighting with 3 cuts on my head here. I want to be sensible about it now. What's done's done. Get through the win. And some people might judge me for that, say, oh no, you should have gone in Heart of a Warrior and all that, go out your shield and start swinging. But it's easy to say that when you're at home and you've got both eyes working.
And also it's not their career on the line.
No,
because he's no joke, that boy. Like he's I think he went for the southern area at one point. Like he was a legitimate step up. You fight 5-0-1, right? And that one was a
Put it this way, I didn't say too much, did he?
No. There you go, right? It's whatever. But like, from your perspective, so the cuts now, are you going to take the rest of the year off? I hope, or a while off, just to really let them settle.
You know what? Hand on heart, I'm going to be honest with you, Rob. The plan was Feb, March anyway, so he's changed there. And so I just took it on the chin and I thought, it is what it is. Nothing's changed. let them heal well, which they have done. You know, I'm doing everything I can, eating the right stuff. My nutritionist has given me some supplements to take. I've bought some fancy creams that are meant to help
Yeah.
on it with all that. And just using the time in the gym now to work on things as you would probably anyway. I mean, if I'm not fighting till Feb, March, camp wouldn't probably ramp up until late December, January.
Yeah.
Nothing
Can I just say
really
though,
changed.
when you say fancy creams, immediately Sam starts thinking about his favourite genres on certain adult websites. That's immediately what he started to think. Look,
Yeah, I'm
see,
getting
How's your brain gone there?
on the screen.
Yeah.
I feel
No.
like I'm grooming you two. I could be your dads.
This pod's gone south.
I ain't.
When don't they? That's the fun ones.
There you go.
Exactly.
Right, so, yeah, please.
No, but the scar creams, I think they work. So far, it's healed
They
well.
look like they do.
Yeah, it's you got to try it, and you can't. You know, anything's a bonus in it if they heal well. But
Fact.
I've tried everything I can. You know, I've not been daft. I've looked after them. I've washed them, make sure they don't get infected, all that malarkey. So they've healed well. So yeah,
As well, they're not from punches. They're always from
that was a
clashes.
frustrating thing.
Yeah.
You know, if
Yeah.
someone hit me with a good one and I get caught, fair play, mate. My fault. I should have clocked onto
Yeah.
that. But obviously, you'll know every time you get caught, a ref will come up at the end of the round and declare it for the scores and judges. Each one head clash. They got to the point where I'm sat there in the corner getting worked on with 3 stubs on my eye, thinking, mate, I felt the pucker go in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You know
felt
what I
it.
mean?
Because it's a clean cut, and even the third, you know, doctor backstage commented when it's a cut from a head clash, it's a clean razor cut because it's bone on bone.
Yeah.
No swelling around it because there's no impact of the shot where it's
just a
not
split.
working. It's just a little razor cut.
Yeah.
Because even though I had 3 cuts, it was only 12 stitches.
Not bad.
You know, they weren't deep, they weren't large. It was just in the right area where I needed to get them stitched up, and you know, doctor did a good job. They've healed well, and it was just frustrating because I think it always disrupts the flow of the fight. Where I came out well with him a few times, and I thought I'm getting him out of here if I can just turn a screw on him. What happens? You try and lay off a bit, give Jamie a chance in the corner to sort it out. Went from that, and then the next round the other eye went, and I'm thinking, oh my god. And at this point, I'm thinking just get through halfway so it doesn't become a no contest again.
Yeah, for sure. So with now the obviously like Feb, March, you're back out again. Have they started to roadmap out what they want for you?
There's been discussions, and I think
What do you want for you?
the title ban next year.
Yeah.
I know the City Ground fight has been discussed because obviously I'll be on that card.
Yep.
So that's a pivotal point because obviously it's great for me because I'm fortunate. I have a lot of people from Mansfield follow me, and it's very local for them. And with having family in Gedling and having a lot of people jump on board through East following, which I've been thankful for. You know, they almost look at me as like the next one to take over after Leigh's had his career. And you know, it's a great honour and a great pleasure to have people say that. But obviously, it's a lot of pressure as well, which I need to make sure I rise
I
up.
want to say right now, I do not want you to have that because it is so stressful watching Leigh fight as someone that
100%.
is like, you know, like has had like a few convos with the geezer, and he's been here and he's sat in this chair and he's done an ep here. It is so stressful to see that dude fight.
I know.
Oh,
don't.
mate. Just, you know what I mean? Like, what do you even say? That's twice that geezer has made me like celebrate like a teenage girl at a boy band concert, banging like literally just yeah.
No, like he brings drama, doesn't he? And I think that's why the casuals get on board and watch Leigh. But you know, someone who knows him, like I say, as a mate, you sit with your head in your hands, thinking, "Oh my God, Leigh, just deck him now." And then he goes and does it, and you're like, "Yes!"
Right. So before I met him in person, I was like, "There's no way." Like I'm 5'9" and I'm 70. Let's say 75 kilos, right? Jacked, unbelievable shape for 41 years old. I'm like truly stunning, unbelievable, right? When he walked in, to come and do the ep with me, I was just like, how do you even come close to making, like, I would have to cut an arm and a leg off to, I don't know how he does it. His head is massive.
And how he's done it for so long as well.
Yeah. Am I right saying he's never moved up weight?
Yeah, he is now.
He's about to, yeah. But
Yeah, but up until this point, which is daft, bearing in mind he's 35.
Yeah, but he's not like the thing is he's not a small man. Like I
No,
expected
no.
him to be like 5'4", 5'5", and then he walked in and he's like eye to
Oh,
eye with me. I'm like,
obviously-
what's going on?
Me and Leigh, I think we're pretty much the same height.
That's what I'm saying.
But I'm big for my weight.
Fact.
But I always laugh because like every time I go in to give Leigh a hug and you pat him, it's like
Yeah,
it's huge.
he's
His
a
arms are
unit.
huge. People don't realise how big he is because I think boxers never really look big because we're all so lean and we're making weight.
Yeah,
But for his weight and his size, he's very, very big and strong. And I don't think people, well, they do realise that. You look at the way he punches.
yeah. This is
But
it.
I don't think the move up will do him any harm. If anything, I think it will do him good because, like I said, he'll be 36 next year.
Yeah.
To not kill your body as much the day before a fight and to come in the ring a little bit fresher and a little bit. Because Leigh won't.
He's big at the weight anyway, right? You could see how much bigger he was than Josh on the night, and just size wise. So he's still going to carry a bit up. I would imagine a size advantage, one division
Yeah,
up.
you can't sleep people like he does and not carry it up an extra 2 kilo, but it'll still be there.
2 kilo is a meal.
Like it's daft how people think, oh God, there's too many weights, and maybe there is, maybe there isn't. That's none of our business. But the fact is, the jump between each weight is not a lot. It's literally a bottle of water. A Buxton 2 litre water is like what's in between each weight.
There you go. I mean, how is it? Is it a particular? I mean, obviously you're 24. You just turned 24, right?
Yeah, a few weeks ago.
Yeah, like is it something that you can see is going to get progressively harder and harder for you, or is it something that at the minute feels all right?
I'll be honest. I've recently started working the past 6 months with a very, very good nutritionist who's made the weight cuts easier and easier to the point where we're discussing, could we move down?
Behave.
We purposely took the foot off the weight cut in 5-6 weeks out because I didn't need to, because I was where I needed to be to do a weight cut and make weight.
Really?
And I was on weight the night before.
It's nuts.
And I know everyone says, oh, I make weight easy. Everyone does. But working with Leigh, Rickard's my nutritionist, he's genuinely made the weight cut, not even a weight cut, which is
That's
daft.
amazing.
That's great, that.
But not only has he done that, he's made me healthier than ever by making sure I'm supplemented right. He tells me what vitamins to take. He sends me the link. I'm rattling like a bottle of pills. I'm on that many vitamins and everything. But they all have made me so much healthier to the point where it's not only about making weight, it's making sure I'm well. I'm well nourished. And I feel a lot
really
better.
make bantam.
I reckon I could. We've sat and discussed it, and
You'd be maybe the biggest bantam of all time.
it's something to discuss and look at in the future. I mean, it's one of them. You fight at, I believe you fight at what you're best performing at. And I think, I've got what like 5 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Start a nice, slow, steady decline in the weight and see how I feel, see how I train. And because I don't go up much in weight after I fought anyway. I've only put a few kilo on. It's not as if I'm one of them that you have to spend all camp making weight.
It's mad.
But like I said, the weight cuts are getting easier and easier.
Fair enough. I mean, like it is what it is.
And like I said, I'm not taking credit for that. He's taking full credit. He knows the stuff, and if you're on weight now before and not feeling bad.
Yeah, that's. I mean, there you go. Can we?
That's great. I mean,
are we hooking him up with Leigh or what?
Say again.
Are we hooking him up with Mr. Woods or?
Well, no. Leigh is very professional and he does the weight properly anyway. I think you are literally looking at someone whose body is at the limit of getting to that weight, and especially I'm young. Leigh isn't. You got to remember, Leigh's He's older than what he looks. He's 35.
I'm 41. Don't be rude.
You know what I mean? It's not.
Yeah, I know.
People
I know what
forget
you're saying.
sometimes how he's at the end of his career, and to
Yeah.
maintain the weight like he has for so long is incredible in itself. And
Fact.
he may only have one fight left, 2 fights, who knows? So to kill his body for that, I don't think. My personal opinion, I understand why he's moved up, because it's a lot of toll on your body when you put him.
Celebrate it. It's a great thing that he's moved up. I mean, like, it would be amazing to see you take the mantle for the area as the new Don. That would be the best. You got Ezra lurking around your area, and Echo though. You got a few of the boys. Dalton's lurking around, didn't he?
Yeah, I know them all quite well. It's just, it's a shame. I don't know whether it'll happen or not. It'd be nice if we all got on the card.
It would be.
Yeah.
That'd
be a stacked card as well.
Would it? Cause like the whole of Knots would just turn up because it's all the boys. But
the problem is Ezra and Echo are on Queensbury.
Yeah, they're never gonna do it, and if they do it, it'd be too. They wouldn't really need to do it, would they? Because I think it all depends on it. It all depends. But in an ideal world, it'd be nice.
What title are you thinking then? By the end of next year, you thinking an area title? Are you thinking one of the IBF trinkets? I don't want to call them. I don't want to be disrespectful, but you know what I mean. Like IBF international.
Yeah.
WBO.
The middle belts.
Yeah.
The sort of stepping stone.
How excited are you to maybe be a WBO global champion? Because that's my favorite of all of the belts, the global belt.
What's that? I've never
global belt. Exactly.
Yeah. The WBO.
Like Toys R Us, just got a belt.
Yeah.
Pretty much. See, I got the same place that I got my one. The WBO do a global belt, which is not above the world championship, but it's below the. It's. I don't.
They all lurk in like Germany, don't they? In Austria, those belts.
Yeah.
They're all like that kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's where I trust my management and my coaching team to see what the choices are. I never like to worry too much about any of that because in 6 weeks' time it can all change.
Yeah.
Boxing's a very fickle sport behind the scenes, and I think if you try and look for one thing too much, you maybe pass over opportunities that are better. Or the main thing for me now is get a fight in March time before the City Ground fight should happen. And that's it. And look at the months before that and use them well. Recover well, work on things in the gym, make sure when I go back into sparring, everything's healed up. And be careful with that. And that's all you can do, isn't it? I think sometimes you can look too far ahead and rush through the early goals.
Do you? This is a one of those questions, not like one of the jokey ones. Do you think that you need to be promoted a little bit more? Because I don't think enough people know about you, and I don't think because it's one thing if you was a classic sort of shut 'em down boxer. You're not. You're fun to watch, and you're now you're getting a little bit more, I don't know, thicker, older. You're wobbling dudes. You're hurting them. You're, like I say, you've got a wicked style to watch. But it's at what point do we start to see more of you being pushed out?
I think it's one of them things that will come. I've been very fortunate to have the exposure I've had already.
True.
The amount of matchroom cars I've been on, the amount of exposure I've got, I've only had to do a few small little shows just to keep me busy in between. How many lads can say that? I mean, my debut was on Wood Conlon.
Yeah.
Fair. So I'll never complain, but I think now the time's come in where I think a big thing is when you're in proper fights and you're not just fighting journeymen, because I think it's very hard for me to try and sell tickets to people I know, my friends and family, with a straight face and please spend tickets for your family to come to watch me box a journeyman for 4 rounds. Because the first
I know what you're saying.
I get them, and then after that, it's like, well, why am I just doing it over and over again? I want to push myself, and I think the more you push yourself, the better you get from it.
I think what my question is like, at what point do we get you off the prelims into the main show? At what point? At what point do we start to see? I mean, obviously, I don't want to say Campbell, like a Johnny Fisher, right? Johnny Fisher is fun. He's got this massive following and stuff like that, and you know that's why he is who he is now. Johnny's a good fighter, but I think that you have the potential to be a great fighter, and you're in the right place, in the right area, with the right people around you. And like I'm saying, your style is one that people warm to. And it's the same with Ezra. He's another one. Ezra is getting more and more popular now, and he's again got a very fun style to watch.
Yeah.
It's that's what I want to see. I just want to see that next phase for you.
I think I think next year with the more serious fights, I think it's where I will shine as a person, as a boxer, and also it's much easier to expose me because people want to tune in because there's a reason to. It's not it's the matchroom undercard or the matchroom boxers will win and then we tune in for the main card.
Yeah.
Because that is part of boxing. You can't just chuck everyone in the deep end straight away. I think sometimes people forget that, you don't fight no one for a while because you're building yourself up as a person, as a brand. 100%. I think the matchroom cards get a lot of stick sometimes where it's, all the undercards are scripted and it's easy fights. It's like, that's grassroots boxing.
Yeah.
That's all the smaller shows are as well.
It's just binary at the minute, right? We're either doing small. I mean, last weekend the You're Cool Boxer card. It's the undercard from the main event. It's a great undercard, and it was a great show, right?
Boxing,
and then
boxing. This
weekend we've got a clown car. We've got Fury and Ngannou. I mean, Jesus never boxed before.
Into that and
I will be. We'll be streaming it. It is what it is. as in live streaming during it, not like watching it in Russian.
I was about to say get the
yeah.
the Xbox controller up, pretending you're playing UFC with it.
Exactly. Yeah, just watching it in the reflection on the pictures behind us. Standard.
We've been done for that before.
We have been done for that before. Don't worry about that. But no, you know what I mean. Like you're talking about like small hall shows, and then you got these mammoth events in the Middle East that are just transcendent.
Just a different level.
Yeah.
But this is what I always say to people. How nice is it when you can see a lad up and coming that you start watching whilst he's young and you then go on to watch him all the way throughout his career and win a world title?
Yeah.
I had that with Hatton. I had that with Prince Nazim.
I had it with Leigh. I watched him live in a leisure centre. And now I'm watching him, I'm thinking, mate, fair play. Look, he's been, I remember watching Echo.
Yep.
I've seen and watched them as a young kid because they were the ones I was looking up to. And now I'm where they were when I was watching them. And
it's nuts.
That's what I mean. It's like, that's why I think some people should probably watch the undercards a little bit more because you're missing the proper young lads coming through. And I think the main cards are brilliant, but don't complain about the undercards because that's where you've seen the next ones come up. And when you follow them from that point in the journey, I think it's more rewarding watching them come all the way up.
I mean, and this is it as well, right? When people start to adhere to a fighter, like the Johnny Fishers, like the Rickies, and etc., it just becomes such a momentous following that is it just becomes a national thing. Unfortunately, that's when you end up in the AJ area where you're you can't do right or wrong, or you can't do exactly. You just done either way. But I hope that you get to that stage.
It'd be lovely, and I can't complain. The people I've got following me at the minute are very, very loyal. They come every fight, they'll travel, they'll arrange coaches themselves. I've had time last year where the whole coach of people actually missed my fights. It got stuck in traffic. They literally turn up as it finished. But they all came to every fight after that. They're not bothered because they're loyal and they're really good people, and that's the sort of support you want to help you get through. And I think being on the Before the Bells help that because it gets your name out there and it gets that following. And I think, like I said, when you've got an emotional attachment to a fighter because you've watched them come through, it is more satisfying for the public and for the fans when they do achieve the dreams because they feel like they've watched it and been part of it.
Most actual fans of a fighter or most actual fans of the sport don't care if you win or lose. As long as you get up and you're all right afterwards, we're all good. We'll see you again. It doesn't mean anything.
Eddie Hearn did an interesting interview. With like the model of the UFC being a little bit more, don't judge a boxer on his own if he's got one.
Yeah.
There you go.
We all love Manny Pacquiao. Dude's a legend.
Yeah,
He lost. He got folded cold by Marquez in that last one.
He really did.
Did you stop watching him after that? No.
Nope. No one
I
cares.
loved him for it because he just cracked on with it again. He went, yeah, you win some, you lose some. Job done.
Dude, we saw Lennox Lewis get obliterated by people he shouldn't have even been touched by. All right, cool. AJ is another one. We've seen AJ get done. Who cares? I'll watch it. I'll watch him every time.
One of my favourites is Miguel Cotto with Margarita. Yeah. My dad were a big Miguel Cotto fan, and I was a young lad. When he lost the first time, and you saw the pain in his face, and the shame, and he carried that throughout his career. And then when he got a chance to avenge the loss, it was like we got emotional watching it because we felt we'd been on it with him.
It was true vindication that night.
Yeah, it was just slow, painful torture to Margarito, and it was mint.
Quality, would it? Just to make Sam happy, what do you think happens this weekend with Fury and Ngannou? There you go, Sam. You can make a clip of this.
I think it'll be a good spectacle.
It'll be a fun one, won't it?
They'll make a show of it.
That's the media training there, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the media training.
But,
Fabio versus.
I was going to say, I'm so much more excited for the undercard.
Fabio and Dave is way better. That's a.
Yeah, I'm shocked. With what kicked off at the announcement. With Fabio got cut, didn't he? And
yeah.
I believe it was a scuffle where it weren't the two boxers that actually hit each other or anything. It was more the entourage, wasn't it, that caused the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the push and he had glasses on or something. See now, excuse me. Fabio has the same energy as yourself. So as you get more in that realm where you're actually very well spoken, very just chill, like you got decent energy. Fabio's the same. But Fabio's also not that guy. And I don't think you're not that guy. And I think there's that switch immediately where if it gets a little bit zesty, I think it will be returned with zest immediately, and people
don't take harness of weakness. Yeah,
there you go.
You got to remember, I've only never been like that because I never needed to.
There you go, and we've not seen it from Fabs really, but we did then, and I think you're going to see it again on Saturday.
You make me laugh, when people say, "Oh, they've not got it in them, they haven't got that fight." You can't get to the point we have in our careers where we've overcome what we've come mentally, physically.
This is
good fights and not. Yeah. It's just you've not seen it yet because you don't need to. It's like I've not had a press conference yet where my opponent's been there or anything like that. And I'm not going to sit there talking trash to no one.
Yeah.
Giving it, your mum is this and that when there's no one there to give it to.
But if you do need consultancy with such things, you have my number. I'm very happy to help.
Get a black book of insults.
I'm there. I'm ready for that.
The thing is, I wouldn't even be like that because I'm not that person where I just be myself. That's all I've ever been, and that's how I'll continue to be. But if someone starts giving it large,
it just takes the right opponent, doesn't it, to kind of bring it out of you, and then you kind of go up that level.
Because it'll be natural then instead of
forced.
Yeah, because I think people know when it's forced and when it's not, and when how many times have you bought into a fight because the blood between fighters that happens, and we know it's genuine.
Yeah.
This is it. That's exactly it. Nico, what we're going to do is we're going to touch base with you early next year when we know what's going on Feb, March, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, for me, you are one of the UK's absolute one to watch next gen stars. There's a little list of you. and there is. It's a very small list, but you are one of my favourites. And thank you again for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, mate.
No, I love it. I love having interviews with people where it's a little bit more free flowing and not getting questions.
Imagine that jarring that must be. Like I can't imagine how jarring that is just to be constantly like. We do it all the time. Like, what am I meant to say to you? How's Cat? Like, if you're pre-fight, you're never gonna say it was shit. You're never gonna say you've hurt your hand. You're never gonna say.
I have been so tempted sometimes. I just throw a red herring in there, see how the interviewer responds.
What, just to try and manipulate the betting line, just to see what happens.
Not even that, just to see how they recover. Because I think sometimes they premeditate what I'm going to answer for their next question to fit in.
Because you have to. We know what you're going to say. If I ask you that question, You're never ever gonna say, "Oh, mate, it's going awfully. I just got banged
Like,
out."
imagine someone asked me
Sparring."
how camp was going, and I went, "Oh, mate, absolutely crap. I went out and did 10 teams last night, and I didn't turn up to training. What sod it?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I woke up on a bench and I'd been on the slopes the night before. I don't
Yeah.
care. Let's just hope that they don't drug test me because I think it might get a little bit warm.
Yeah.
Thanks, Umar. See you next time.
The worst ones are at the weigh-ins. Like, I always feel bad when you have to drag boxers over to the cameras and be like, "Oh, let's do an interview." They're miserable. They're hungry. And it's the same questions. It's like, "Oh, have you took anything from like the face off? Like, have you seen anything in his eyes?" And you have to try and make up some bullshit answer when really you just want to go and get some fucking food down. Yeah.
I think sometimes we've got to justify why they're there, aren't they, and ask questions and interviews, and it must be hard for them. But I have had the odd few that done the research and like will ask me about football because I'm a football fan, or ask me about just little things where I'll hear it and I'm like, well, I have to actually answer that instead of just splurging out what I told him and him.
Yeah.
So I remember on my debut, because obviously at that point no one knew me or anything about me, so it must have been hard for people to interview me. And all I could get was, "Oh, how does it feel to be boxing in Nottingham?" And by 4 or 5 interviews, I'm thinking, mate, the same as it felt 10 minutes ago, but I'm quickly losing interest in Nottingham. I just don't want to answer the question no more.
No.
It'd be so good if like they asked you the same question and you just be like, "Well, if you go on to Boxing Social's interview, I answered that over there, so you just go listen to that one instead."
Yeah, link in the comment section.
Yeah.
See, so this is why I don't do those things, because I can't help myself. I'm going to ask something a little bit that's going to amuse me and hopefully gets a laugh out of him, but he's just made weight and he may not be in the mood for it. And you know what I mean? All you're going to do is alienate someone that's just had to just cut a load of weight and he's drained and just doesn't want to deal with it. That's why I don't do it.
Last year, when they do the match room behind the scenes, we're on the way to weigh in, and I was sat waiting in reception at the hotel, and the cameraman comes up to me because they record loads of things throughout the week, but none of them ever make it half the time. And he comes up to me and he goes, "Right then, Nico, you're about to weigh in. What's the go-to post-weigh-in meal?" And at this point, I just had enough. I was on weight. I was waiting for a taxi, and I just turned around and looked at him and went, "Doner kebab, cheesy chips, and a fuck-off glass of Diet Coke."
Yes.
And he laughed because it was a laugh playing like fair play, but he's like, "That ain't making it on, is it?" Like,
see, now for me, I'm putting that straight in.
Nah.
Especially if it was. Imagine. See, now that's where you need to put it on the socials.
Yeah. And Nico behind the scenes. If you had a cameraman just following you around, I mean, just a cameraman in your gym, I think would be sensational.
It would. It'd have to be someone that would be willing to put out the raw, not bleeping like R2D2, because I think that makes it a little bit. It's a gym.
I know someone that would do that,
Yeah.
Shiesty would do that.
Yeah, 100%.
505 would be straight up and would do that. Maybe we should have a little chat.
It's the fun of boxing, isn't it? It's the banter, it's the gym talk. We're human beings, aren't we? We're normal lads. We're not.
Yeah.
I think the problem with half the time is when people expect you to be the perfect image.
This is why we started this, because it's the other way, right? That's what I think people need to see more. People need to see you and the lads having a laugh. You punch the life out of each other. You've had a sesh, you just completely and utterly drained, whatever, and you're cussing someone's mum, and there's no reason for it, and that's just how it is, right?
Funny,
that's what it's exactly. There's nothing better. On my stories at the minute, sometimes you see them. I'm cussing my mate's mum at the minute. It's a picture. It's a black hole. It's a video of a black hole with a thing going in it. Makes me think of Ewan's mum, and it does make me think of Ewan's mum because she's a dirty bag of shit. Shout out Ewan and his mum. Anyway, but that's what we need to see. That's what it is, because they did too much of a good job with AJ. AJ can't talk anymore. Like he's
don't know what to say.
Exactly. He's shitting himself every time he opens his mouth, bless him.
I think people can see through it as well. Like, you can tell when someone's like media trained, and then you can tell when someone's just being authentic.
It's not media trained, it's media programmed. That's the difference.
The thing is, though, I don't understand is if we all did that, what's the point of asking us all interviews? Because we'd all be sat there on the table and it'd be the same answer from him.
Yeah. Well, because then you get the wild cards. you get the Dillians that turn up and the Del Boys that make it through. And
Oh, yeah, that
and
laxative thing on the face off still cracks me up.
well, there you go, right? But the fact that's there, it's etched forever because of that moment, because of those lunatics that make it through somehow.
My favourite to this day is Florian Markey. I just love him.
Florian's
interviews are just my favourite things.
He don't care. He's just consistently does not care. He's mint.
100% he's another one. He's that guy, right? You DM him abuse, he's gonna ask your address. He doesn't care. He truly doesn't care.
It's like he sent us a voice note today. It was like, I want Poster fighting Josh Taylor. I will go Scotland.
Wait, where's he from? Because what was that accent?
Oh, I can't do accents, but that's
my bad. I'm
accent.
just checking.
You know what? In all fairness, I hear Florian pretty much every day, and I weren't too far off.
That weren't too far off. I know. I was getting a little bit of a knock.
But he'll just where you go. He'll just be like, yeah, I'm going to call out Josh Taylor today. On the Instagram. And he's even like, yeah, I'm going to fight him in Scotland as well. Why not?
Respect.
The thing is, I'll be able to build up them two because they're both fiery, aren't they?
Why don't you call out Florian just for the bants, just to see what happens?
Probably be knocking on your door next day. We fight.
Yeah. Sam, make the poster. On that note, Nico, mate, thank you so much for joining us, dude. Speak to you soon.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, mate.
Bye.
Dude.